up there. You know, we're running on caffeine and a lot of happy, good feelings in the room, and we have the momentum, don't we? Ready to get this thing done in 2 weeks? So, Kathy and I wanted to stop by, first and foremost to say thank you for all the support for me and my campaign, for Jim, who ran my first campaign and makes us so proud at the highest level of state government now. And all the candidates, Joe said, thank you for everything you've done for us. Our name is on the ballot, and we're proud to carry the banner of what it means to be a Republican, to be for less government spending, lower taxes, smart government, but certainly more personal freedom and greater personal responsibility. That's what we stand for. But while we're holding the banner, as Joe said in the opening comments, it was a lot of work to get to this point in time, and it started. It started back in the winter. It started in January or February, where many of you went door to door in the cold of winter to get signatures on a petition so our name could be on the ballot. So whatever it is we're able to accomplish on Tuesday, we feel like we're going 4 for 4 in 48 hours. Whatever it is we can accomplish, we owe to you and the work that you've done for us. We want to certainly say thank you for everything you've done and everything that we know you'll continue to do. So the polls are going to open in what, about 35 hours. You ready for that? These polls are going to open, and like I said, we feel the momentum. If you're thinking about voting, we need you to show up with 10 or 15 of your friends. If you're thinking about voting a couple of hours, we need you there for 13 hours. We need you there before 7 a.m. all the way till 8 o'clock, going hard all day, because the stakes are so critical right now. Our children, Kathy and I, we're going to be grandparents in about 6 weeks. And, so my name is on the ballot. You may have heard the president recently say that his name's on the ballot, but his policies are on the ballot. Have you heard him say that? Yeah. So we got Republican policies on the ballot of less government spending, lower taxes, everything we just talked about. We got the president's policies on the ballot of bigger government, higher taxes, more spending, less personal freedom, and, inept foreign policy. Chaos on the southern border. So what are we going for? We're going for 2 more years of President Obama's failed policies in this country. We need you on Tuesday. So, again, for all of you done, for me and Kathy, for our family, for our country, and for all we know you're going to do, starting on 7 a.m. on Tuesday. We'll see you up in Doylestown at 8 o'clock, 8:01. And that's where the party will begin again in the news. So thanks for everything.
I also want to mention Commissioner Martin here, my colleague. Charlie's had the pleasure, or I'm not sure, the challenge of dealing both with Mike, myself, and Jim Cawley. So there's something to be said for that. But
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Right. So we're here because we're excited, because we can feel it. We know what's going to happen on Tuesday. It's going to be a victory. Are we going to bring a victory for Governor Corbett on Tuesday? For our own, Bucks County's own, Lieutenant Governor Jim Cawley. So I was asked a question earlier from a reporter, what do you do after this? Why do you have everybody here? And I thought about that, and the answer is this. Anybody see the movie Braveheart? Somebody said, all right, good, more than I thought. So there's a great scene in the movie where William Wallace, Mel Gibson plays William Wallace, right? And William Wallace gives this incredible speech at this big rally, all right, to go off for the Scots to fight the English. And it's this big rally, just like all these people are gathered. And at the end of the speech, at the end of the great speech, one of his aides says to him, "Great speech, now what?" And Wallace looks at him and says, "I'm going to pick a fight." So tonight, we're here, a great rally, we're going to hear some great speeches, and the now what for us is we got to finish this in the next 2 days. Are you with me? Yeah! That's why we're here, that's why we're rallying tonight. We have to finish this. We've got one more day and a wake up, and we need to finish this for Mike Fitzpatrick, for Governor Corbett, and for Jim Cawley. And that's why we're rallying here tonight. We're rallying to celebrate all the work that we've done over the last month, 2 months, 3 months, even back to when the signatures were signed, as Congressman Fitzpatrick said. But we're here to get excited and rally and bring everybody we can to the polls on Election Day to finish this, because the momentum is with us. Is it not? Yeah! All right. Here's what we're going to do. You've seen a lot of campaign commercials this season. I'm going to ask you all to kind of direct your eye over towards the screen. We're going to watch a couple of videos. There's a neat little reel of all the commercials, campaign commercials.
But this is ground zero for me. This is my Senate district, and we're in a tough battle here for the local supervisor. And my campaign had a lot of campaign similarities to our governor's. They lied a lot. They told you that we took $1 billion out of education when we didn't. We actually put $4.96 billion back in education that was taken out from the previous administration when we used the federal stimulus money to backfill. And we put it back. The governor had no tax increase to that, put it back, and made up over a $4 billion deficit to boot because of the economy and how bad the economy was. But our opponent kept pushing that and pushing that and pushing that. The other thing they said was that I voted for the largest tax increase in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which isn't true. We voted for the transportation bill. We eliminated the gas tax of 12 cents. You don't pay a gas tax anymore. The oil companies pay a gas tax, which they probably pass on to you in some extent. But what's gas worth today? $3 a gallon? $3? $2.93 I heard today. $2.87. The point is, when I had my debate, people said, well, you know, I got accused, and I said, you know, you might want me to vote for that again since gas was about $3.60 a gallon when it's down to $3 a gallon. So it went down at least 30, 40 cents in gas prices. But we eliminated, you never hear this, we absolutely eliminated the gas tax. But nobody printed it, nobody wrote about it, but we eliminated it. And did we need the money for infrastructure and roads? And when my opponent was asked how they would pay for that, they had no idea how to take care of the roads and the infrastructure which we need. And then when they're asked, well, how would you create jobs? Well, you can't create jobs without infrastructure. You can't create jobs without highways and roads and mass transit, and that's what we did. We invested. We doubled down and we invested, and it was extremely important for the economic development of this state to do that, particularly in this district here, where we are, where so many people, number one, use the roads, but number two, use mass transit. Many, many people come down to those parking rides down along the R7 to go into the city or up to Trenton or up to New York. But again, a lie that was never really able to, we refuted it, you know it, but a lot of times the press just didn't do it. But on the $1 billion of education, they did at least cover that. But a lot of people just really haven't paid a lot of attention. And the third thing that they lied a lot about and tried to ignore was the pension problem that we have. We have a pension problem. I just thought it was very, very interesting that the Courier would not endorse our governor who kept talking about the pension problem, and yet his opponent says there is no pension problem. Well, folks, there's a pension problem, and we have to do something about it. And we have to face it. We have to face the fact that we have a $47 billion debt for that pension, and we need to make it up, and we need to finance that somehow. This governor at least tried to bring the attention to that and say this is a problem. And you can't say that those costs aren't part of our education costs. They are. And the other side's trying to say that's really not part of educational costs. So these campaigns, my campaign and the governor's campaign against us have been built on lies. But you, the educated voter, you the people who bother to pay attention, know the differences. And I'm just here to tell you because my good friend Jim Cawley, who's in the other room waiting, you all remember Jim worked for me for 10 years as my chief of staff, of course went on to become a county commissioner and did a great job at that. But you know that we've tried to run government efficiently, tried to make sure that it responds to what people need, because there are things that government needs to do, and one of them is transportation. One of them is take care of that pension problem, and the other one was to put money into public education, and we did. We put that money back. So I want to thank you for coming out here. I just wanted to bring up those issues that are paralleling my campaign, because you're in my district right now. And I would appreciate, particularly as news from the 6th Senatorial District, this is a very, very important election. We got to get out for that, and I know we're right near Chuck McElhenney's district too, but we need to get you out, because we've done everything we can do. We've done all the debates, we've done all the ads, we've done all the TV, we've done all the brochures, but now the name of the game is get your friends out to vote. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Gratitude and thanks for the leader of our Republican Party here. The reason that we're all gathered, the logistics that go behind this rally and every other rally, the reason that we get volunteers, the reason that we win elections in Bucks County, and it's because of the leadership of our chairperson, Pat Poprik.
Thank you. You know, thank you. It's probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever had, and probably one of the most rewarding, because I get to meet and work with all of you in this room. And I gotta tell you, it makes all the difference in the world. Because I travel the state and I see other counties, organizations, and we come back home to our county and Rob, we think, wait a minute, they don't have many committee people, they don't have workers. We have them here in Bucks, and you're looking at them. And I gotta tell you, you're the ones that we count on, you're the ones that we depend on election day. And I don't do this alone. You heard earlier our Vice Chair, Joe Cullum, but let's hear it for Joe. He's here somewhere, Vice Chair. And also we have with us tonight the Secretary for the party, Tom Prophy's been our Secretary for 30 or a little bit of years. Tom Prophy, right in the center. And standing with him is our Assistant Secretary Treasurer, Linda O'Neill. Thank you, Linda. And I don't know, is the mayor arrived yet? I know he was coming up later. Mayor Joe DiGirolamo from Ben Salem is our treasurer. But we're a team, all of us. Whether you're an elected committee person, whether you're a volunteer, we're a team. And teams work together to win. And we can do this. You know, I've been listening to all these polls and pundits, and I don't believe them. Because whenever I go to any of these events, and all of you have been listening, I ask them. I've been to quite a few, you might imagine, the last few weeks. And I have found a total of 15 of us that have been polled. So who's answering all these important polls? It's not you and me. No. The only poll that I count is the one on Tuesday night. Yeah. That's the one we're counting for you. I don't care about those numbers. And you know why we're going to win? Because everyone, you hear them telling you on the radio and the TV, it's all about the turnout. The turnout. It is. And that's where we beat them every time. Because you will go out of here. You'll make the calls. You're not going to sit on your laurels for the next 48 hours. Because if you do, we lose. But if you take the enthusiasm that made you come here tonight and stand, and it's getting hot, and we're trying to get the air higher, or cooler, whatever, what brought you here is what's going to carry us. Now, Tommy said it perfectly. Our candidates have done everything. They've gone to every event. They've done literature, they go to breakfast, they're going 24 hours a day just about. And the ones that left here, I'm telling you, they went to an event. So they've done all they can do. But they're one voice, one mouth. They need this sea of humanity to take it to the next step. We need you when you leave here to get on the phone in the car, safely with hands-free. Call your friends. Call your neighbors. They don't have to live in Bucks County. I'm sure a few people in this room know people that don't live in Bucks County, right? Call them. We have something very much at stake here, folks. Our state. We cannot afford to have Barack Obama light in the governor's house in Harrisburg. We can't. He'll tax us out of our homes. So what are you going to do when we leave? We can all leave and say, oh, that was nice. I heard Christie. I heard Jim Cawley. I heard Rob. And it was a great, okay, we had a great time. It was a great rally. And if you go home and do nothing, we will lose. Because it's all about the turnout. If you get people that you know, it means making a few phone calls. You know, they're not fatal. Pick up the phone, call some of your friends, call your neighbors. Talk to the people you know that don't usually vote. I'm calling every person I know, just about. Expect a call. Because I'm calling you. Because I'm asking you to do that extra step. And if you do the extra step, I can assure you we will win. Because we always beat them on the turnout, getting the voters out. And we need to do it again. And those of you that live in Bucks County, how many here live in Bucks County? Raise your hand. Okay. You know the term, a favorite son?
Yeah.
We have a favorite son.
Cawley.
You're right. We started this young man, I can remember, Suzanne, when he ran for school board in Bristol Township. How many years ago is that? 25? Young guy, energetic and full of energy. Then comes along the Schweiker campaign. Mark Schweiker's running. We said, Jim, we need someone to be driving. I'll do it. He's worked from every level of every campaign possible. And he's gotten to the point, he's now Lieutenant Governor of this Commonwealth. But his birth politically was in this county. And moms and dads, we gave birth to him, and we're not leaving him alone. We're bringing him in. Every one of us. He's our guy. That's right, Cawley, get those signs up. Come on, Fitzpatrick, Cawley. He's our guy. I'm telling you this, I love Tom Corbett. I've known Tom many years. But Jim Cawley's from Bucks. And Bucks, like the Marines say, we leave no man behind. So we're counting on you. Please look me in the eye, and I'm going to go right across this crowd. Can I count on you in the next 2 days to make calls? Can I count on you to knock on some doors? Election day. Don't just work 2 hours, work 8 hours, work 10 hours, because you'll make the difference. And on the end of November 4th, when the numbers are all tallied, and we can look in the mirrors, and we will say, we did it. And we won't have to wake up November 5th sick to our stomachs. So folks, now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Can we count on you fellows, ladies? I hope you're louder when the governor comes. Can we count on you? That's what we need. All right, then we're going to start. We'll be down in a few minutes. We got them both in the building. We're going to bring them over. A few seconds, hang in. Thank you. Please wait. I know you waited long. I know it's hot. But the last thing we want is to have you not here when they walk through that door, and it's coming up very soon. So hang in. County. You know him. He was your commissioner for many years. Did a great job. Please join me in the warmest welcome you can conjure up tonight for our own Jim Cawley.
For the two most important Cawleys that I know, my wife Suzanne and my son Nick. I've often said that for the last 4 years I've had the great opportunity to work with Tom Corbett, but Sue and I both work for Nick Cawley. I thank you for your patience. I thank you for support that no one could expect, and that I hope every day you believe I've earned and deserve. I think back over the years and years and years, and as I look out over all of these familiar faces, I can't help but feel proud of everything it is that you and I have done to continue to make our Bucks County the very special place it is to live and to work and to raise our families and to grow older. And while there are so many of you that deserve some special recognition, there are some who, as this is a bit of a homecoming for Sue and Nick and I, that I want to recognize in particular. I want to start off with a fellow who many, many moons ago, 20 years ago, as a matter of fact, took a risk on a fellow who perhaps was a little long on ego and a little short on accomplishment, but still gave me a job and gave me an opportunity to work for the people of the 6th Senate District and for the people of Pennsylvania and for the people of Bucks County. I want to thank, and you've heard from him, I know, my old boss, State Senator Tomlinson. And I want to thank as well somebody who was a tremendous partner and continues to be a great friend, somebody who continues to serve the people of Bucks County with distinction and with integrity, our County Commissioner, Charlie Martin. And by the way, when we're talking about great county commissioners, let me just mention one of the hardest working county commissioners that I know, and somebody who, while perhaps succeeded me, is, I think, doing a tremendous job in his own right. Our great County Commissioner, Rob Lockery, is.
Senators and the House members, thank you for being here tonight. This is, the game's about to start. We're in the locker room. Okay? Then we're going to go out tomorrow and warm up a little bit, aren't we? Yeah. A little bit of stretching. That stretching is walking from door to door, isn't it? Knocking on doors. Working your fingers on the phones, right? Because we got to get the turnout up right here in Bucks County. You agree with me? Yeah. First off, I got to tell you a couple things. I have two great partners in my life. Now, the second great partner in my life is your former county commissioner, Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, Jim Cawley. And I know he did it, but I'm going to introduce his wife, Suzanne, and Nikki right there with us also. And my number one great partner, somebody I met when I was 19 and she was almost 17. She turned 18 about a month after I met her. And we have been either dating or married ever since. My wife, Susan, that you just got to see. Now, I started coming down here in 2003. Campaigning, talking to state committee people, talking to people like Pat Poprik, talking to Harry. You all know Harry, going to the basement of Harry's. You look at the legislator going to the basement of Harry's. They all know what that means. And got to know all of you, and I want to say thank you very much, because for the last 10, 11 years, you have been like family to me coming here to Bucks County. Thank you very much. But we got to finish this, and we are. You heard Sue talk about me never being predicted to win any race. I love proving them wrong, and you're going to help me prove them wrong again, aren't you? tries to explain that, you know, my opponent wants to be Ed Rendell. Tax and spend, tax and spend. He wants to be Barack Obama. Actually, yeah, you can say that. Actually, can you imagine he brings Barack Obama into Philadelphia to help him campaign, to show that he is going to be a new kind of governor? You got that right. He's not going to be a new kind of governor. He's going to be just like Ed Rendell, and he's going to tax and spend. He tells you he's going to tax you. He just won't be honest with you. He won't tell you how much it is. He tells you he's going to spend more. He says, well, we're going to put $1 billion here, we're going to put $1.2 billion there. He never adds it up. We've added it up. It's $6 billion in new spending. He'd have to change the Constitution. I'm going to look at my legislators over there. What do you think the likelihood of getting that Constitution changed? How many of you want your income tax rates raised? Oh, I can't hear you. How many of you want your income tax rates raised? You got to make sure that everybody's watching this, the TV cameras are back there, they know exactly how you feel, because I will tell you, across Pennsylvania, when I talk to people, they feel the same way. They feel the same way. So I need you to go out there and talk about this. Talk about the difference in this race. Somebody who has kept their promises, like I have, who's lowered unemployment through the private sector, from 8.1% the day I was sworn in to 5.7%. I think it's lower than that here in this county. New private sector jobs with new industries, bringing people back to work, bringing people back to Pennsylvania. And you know, every once in a while I compete with a guy across the river, who I'll introduce here in a minute. Competition is good. Competition is good. We like to get into businesses. It's not his fault, but he has a legislature that believes that taxes should be high. I believe taxes should be low, don't you? While I was a history teacher, I've read my history, I have yet to find one example of any society that taxed its way to prosperity. It went the other way. You lower the taxes, you bring more businesses. And you see that here in Pennsylvania. Number one in the Northeast. You know what that is? Number one in the Northeast for the creation of new corporate headquarters or the expansion of headquarters. Number 4 in the country. That one in the Northeast, all other states in the Northeast, 8 other states, yeah, that one, those 2 next to us, New Jersey and New York. All of those combined didn't equal what we did in 2013. And you know, we're looking at the qualification of my opponent. He was the Secretary of Revenue. And he says he can't tell you how much he's going to have to tax you. He doesn't have the data. Well, we sent him the data once. Said, well, I don't have the data. And you know, I had fun at the debates. Did you all like those debates? And during the debate, the first thing he talked about, in the first sentence, he made sure that everybody knew that he went to what college? MIT. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me since that point and said, Governor, you know what MIT stands for? More income taxes. Absolutely right. Okay? They said he was comfortable with a calculator, so we sent him the numbers again. We sent him a calculator. He refuses to answer. And why does he refuse to answer? Because it's going to be a 188% tax increase, almost tripling your taxes on all people in Pennsylvania. That's why he doesn't want to answer the questions. So the people of Pennsylvania really have a choice. Somebody who's worked to keep the taxes low, worked with the legislature. We've gotten a lot done. But we have more work to do. We're willing to do it. Somebody that recognizes, yeah, we do have a pension crisis. He says it's not a crisis. He used to say it was a compensation issue. You all ever figure out what he meant by a compensation issue? And now he says, yeah, it's a problem. Now we all know it's a crisis. Your property taxes are going up because it's a pension crisis, not because it's a pension problem. And we know the pension, or the property taxes, is a huge issue throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, particularly to our seniors. And I want to tell you, seniors are with me. You know, I do my own poll. I do a poll going into a convenience store. or going into a McDonald's or, you know, a fast food restaurant. Now, you go into a McDonald's at 10 o'clock in the morning. What's the average age of the customer? Maybe 70, 75. And they're all, I hear 80 over here. Do I hear 90? And they're sitting there and they're solving the problems of the world, aren't they? Okay? The one thing they know is they don't want to pay any more taxes, and that's why they tell me they're with me. The seniors are with me. So what we need you to do is get out there and talk for the next 2 days. On the phones tomorrow, out there talking, knocking on doors, talking on Tuesday. Get out there, help people get to the polls. Take yourself, take somebody else. But we are not done in this race yet, because we are going to win on November the 4th. Now, we're going to win because we've been demonstrating leadership. Mr. Wolf's attacked my leadership, but leadership is exactly why we are where we are today. We are a leader in the energy in this country. We are now number 2 in the production of natural gas in this country, moved up from number 5. But our energy portfolio makes us the 2nd largest energy field in the world, and businesses are coming to us. It's a matter of leadership. Leadership is in making the decisions and keeping your promise. Keeping your promise to do what's in the best interest of the people of Pennsylvania. And not just for this generation. It's for the next generation. And the generation after that. Now, the last time I talked to you in this room, 4 years ago, Sue and I didn't have any grandchildren. Okay? Nikki was a little bit smaller 4 years ago than he is now. Sue and I are blessed now to have 3 grandchildren. Okay? One, our daughter adopted when he was 2 days old. He just turned 3 in September. They just moved from Delaware County to Bucks County. They're over in York. And I'm not guaranteeing that they stay in Bucks County. I don't know that's their thing. He's probably going to be 7 foot when he's done growing. He already has one offer from the University of Delaware to play basketball, sight unseen. But it's about his future. It's about our 2 newest ones. Our son had 2 identical twin boys 6 weeks ago yesterday. Elliot and Theo. That's all your children and grandchildren, because the decisions we've been making for these 4 years, and what we need to do for the next 4 years, is for the future of Pennsylvania and the future of this country. And boy, we certainly need help in Washington, don't we? Look at the example of leadership that Tom Wolf brought into Pennsylvania. Somebody who has not led. Somebody who has not led. And they're coming in and telling us how to do it in Pennsylvania. I think I know a better example of leadership. I think I've seen somebody across the river that's been leading in New Jersey. Now, we do compete. We compete for jobs, but we're friends when we compete for jobs. He's been doing a great job as the governor of Jersey. I want to introduce you to my good friend, Christie.
Pennsylvania. Let me tell you, I have been in 14 states in the last 4 days. Yeah, it always felt like today. I've been in 14 states in the last 4 days, and let me tell you what I'm sensing around the country, and I know what's happening here. Democrats are not coming out. They're not excited. In fact, they're not excited about their own candidates, and they shouldn't be. They're not excited about Tom Wolf here in Pennsylvania. And let me tell you what's going to happen on Tuesday night. 4 more years. Listen, you know that the governor and the First Lady of Pennsylvania have worked extraordinarily hard over the last 4 years to deliver for you the results that he's delivered for you. And you know that they've worked extraordinarily hard in this campaign, and so has the Lieutenant Governor and his family. And so now, in these last 48 hours, more than at any other time in the last 4 years, they're counting on you. See, for 4 years you've been able to count on Tom Corbett. For 4 years you've been able to count on him to make the hard decisions that needed to be made. You've been able to count on him to conduct his office every day with honesty and integrity, to make you proud, to tell your children who the governor of their state is. For 4 years, he's worked on lowering taxes, increasing jobs and opportunity, making Pennsylvania a more prosperous place, improving an education system that needed improvement. He's worked on all that. You've been able to count on him every day to do that for the last 4 years. And now, in these last 2 days, I'm asking you to let him count on you. To let him count on you to do what needs to be done. You know, you've watched him in every race he's ever been in his life. He always gets counted out. They always wonder, no, not this time for Corbett. And what they never count on, and what he would tell you, I know, is they don't count on you. See, they look at him, and that's the only way they make the evaluation. And any one of us who gets looked at have good days and bad days. And he's had a lot more good ones than bad ones for this state, both as Attorney General, as U.S. Attorney, and as Governor. But what they don't count on is that you know that Pennsylvania's future is at risk here if you go in the wrong direction. I mean, let's face it. I said this when I was with the Republican State Party just a month or so ago. No person deserves the governorship of this great state when they are willing to lie to get it. And that's exactly what his opponent has done for this entire campaign, is to lie about Tom Corbett and lie about his record in education. And let me tell you, everybody, if the state of Pennsylvania wants someone with honesty and integrity, there's only one choice in this race, and it's Tom Corbett. And let me speak from a selfish perspective as well. You know, in one sense, it'd be great for me, right? Corbett's tough. He's a tough competitor. He's made taxes even lower in Pennsylvania. He's made regulation even lower in Pennsylvania. He's stolen more jobs from New Jersey while he's been governor. So, you know, if I was going to act selfishly, you know, what do I need this for, right? For 4 more years? But the fact is that I care too much about this place. Now, you know, I have a great connection to Pennsylvania. My wife, Mary Pat, was born at Bryn Mawr Hospital. She grew up in Paoli, Pennsylvania. My 86-year-old mother-in-law still lives there, in the house where she raised her 10 children. And 7 of my 9 in-laws live in this state, which is good news for Corbett because they're already voting for him. Right? But it's not like you all are just a neighboring state. I'm here all the time. My family, my extended family is here. My wife is a native of this place. And so I can't be selfish because there's too much of the future of my extended family, my nieces and nephews, who are going to count on this place being strong and vibrant and prosperous. over the next number of years. It cannot go backwards to the Rendell years. It needs to stay going forward. You need to elect Tom Corbett one more time on Tuesday. And it's right here in counties like this one where it's going to happen. This is where it's going to be made to happen by all of you. Right? Because all the pundits and the experts don't know. They don't know what's in your heart and what you're willing to do. Now think about it. We're really literally 48 hours away. We're 48 hours away. And for 48 hours, I mean, we can do anything for 48 hours. I mean, you can hang from your thumbs for 48 hours if you needed to. And what we're asking you to do is not nearly as hard as all that. In the next 48 hours, what you need to do is to get to that email address book on your phone or your iPad or your computer and look through every one of them and say, which one of these people can I touch that are inside this state to make sure that they vote for Tom Corbett? And here's what I want you to say to them. I don't want you to write to them and say, hi, I'm voting for Tom Corbett. No. I want you to tell them you're working for Tom Corbett. See, that's different. That's different. See, because folks in your life, whether they're relatives or friends, neighbors, co-workers, you know, folks that you know from church on Sunday or folks that you know from your kids' schools, they respect you. And so many people in life have so many things pulling and tugging at them, you know. So do we. But we've decided, because you're here tonight, you've decided that this is important to you. See, a lot of those other people, they want Pennsylvania to continue to be a growing and prosperous and hopeful place, but they don't focus necessarily as much as we do on this stuff. They have a lot of things tugging at them in their lives. But when someone they know and respect sends them an email, makes a phone call, tugs on their arm when they see him at the supermarket the next 2 days or at the parking lot of your kid's school or your grandkid's school, and you say to them, keep those stickers, okay? Keep them on. Get more of them. Corbett's got plenty of them. Get more of them. And you go out and make sure you have them on for the next 2 days, okay? Because when people see it, they'll ask you. Or you'll look at them and say, see this? I'm working for Tom Corbett. The next 48 hours, I've committed myself to doing everything I can to work for Tom Corbett. Well, people who respect you in your life will say, man, if she's willing to work the next 48 hours for this guy, the least I can do is vote. The least I can do is vote. And I'm going to get out there and do it then. Believe me, if you all do that, it is still the most powerful weapon in American politics. More powerful than the 30-second TV ad, more powerful than the mail in the mailbox, more powerful than anything that Tom or I can do. It's you. And you can make it happen. But what you need to do tonight is two things as you leave here. The first is believe. You need to believe. That person needs to look in your eye and say, he believes, she believes that it is urgent to our state's future to re-elect Tom Corbett. First, you need to believe. Second, you need to look in the mirror tonight and say, I'm committed. I'm committed. Not, I'll try. Not, if I have a few minutes. No, everybody. I am committed to this governor for the next 48 hours, the same way he's been committed to me for the last 4 years. If you do that, I absolutely believe in my heart that we are going to have an election victory on Tuesday night, and you, each and every one of you, is going to be able to look at yourselves and your families and say, we were a part of history. We were a part of history. So I've been here many times over the last 4 years. And Tom and I have been great partners over the last 4 years. I've been fortunate to have a good, decent, honest person across the river. And yeah, we compete hard. That's fine, that's our job. But for the last 4 years, I have had a good, decent, honest friend on the other side of the river that I could talk to, consult with, learn from, support, and work with. And so I don't speak from the position of having just met him a few weeks ago and he's a Republican, I'm a Republican, so what the heck? I can support him. No. I'm telling you, I know this man. I know him well, and I've seen him under difficult moments, really trying moments that only happen to you when you're governor. And I've seen him stand up and be counted. And I've had my tough moments as governor. When I picked up the phone and asked him for help, he was always there. When we had Hurricane Sandy, Tom Corbett was there to help New Jersey. All the challenges that we face together, we have faced together. And so now, with 48 hours left, that's why I'm here. That's why this is state number 14 in 4 days. Because when your friend is being challenged, you stand up next to him and you take the shots with him. But here's the good news. Our guns are loaded too. So, I'll end with this. You're our ammunition. You're our ammunition for the last 48 hours. We've shot all the other ammunition we've got. All the TV ads are made and on the air. All the mail is in the mailbox. All the stumping has been done. The calls are being made. It's you now. You're the ammunition we have left. And I got a feeling we got a lot more of it than the other side thinks. I love the president came in. Isn't that great? God bless the President of the United States. God bless the President of the United States for coming in here just when I thought he couldn't help us anymore. Just when I feared that the people of Pennsylvania may have forgotten just what an abject failure he is. Just when I was worried that Tom Wolf had lied and hidden enough to try to fool people that he's not an Obama Democrat. Damn if Barack Obama didn't come to the rescue again. In fact, I got an offer to the president, if you're out there watching, Mr. President. I got an airplane, it's not as big as yours. I got an airplane I'm using tomorrow. Let me say this. If you're willing to, I'll come pick you up to come to Pennsylvania one more time tomorrow. There's one more half-baked rally with Barack Obama in Pennsylvania, and Corbett will win by double digits, man. Because never, ever forget, Tom Wolf is nothing more than a Barack Obama, Ed Rendell Democrat who's going to tax and spend and regulate and intrude into every aspect of your life. His hand will be in your pocket. His face will be right in yours. He'll want everything that you have, and he'll want you to do it his way, just like Barack Obama has been doing it for the last 6 years in Washington, D.C. The only way we stop these people is to elect Republicans who will say no, like Tom Corbett. Let's do it on Tuesday, everybody. Let's go.